Jerusalem. It's easily one of the most disputed lands in all of the world. For some, it is part of Palestine, while for others, it's part of Israel. But for someone who grew up in the Philippines watching all these religious movies, it is the Holy Land, where Jesus walked his way to Calvary while carrying a cross, where he was imprisoned, crucified, died, and buried.
This is where the tomb of Jesus is believed to be buried.
With this alone, it makes all sense why many of our fellow Filipinos wish to visit this place at least once in our lifetime. In this video, let me share my experience while walking in the narrow streets of the old city and my complete itinerary, so in the future, if you are planning to visit this place, you can have your own guide. First up is the birthplace of the Virgin Mary. It is conveniently located near the Lion's Gate. It is a very small place, but it is worth it visiting this historical site inside Jerusalem. One of the most famous things to do inside the walled city of Jerusalem is to follow Via Dolorosa, or the Way of the Cross.
Hmm? The first station of the place.
The signs of Via Dolorosa are representations of Jesus' path while carrying the cross over his shoulder. It starts at the place where he was sentenced to death until Golgotha or Calvary, where he was crucified, died, and buried. While following this path, take your time to enjoy while walking in the narrow streets of Jerusalem. You'll get to see a very busy, colorful, and vibrant markets. You get to see an ancient, old, and historic churches also, some cool souvenir shops, and some amazing street graffitis.
Third station. Then, tabi niya lang is the fourth station right away. Usually talaga, pag magtutour kayo sa mga holy sites or historical sites na ganito, is kailangan may tour guide kayo. Dito, na-fall down si Jesus. Tapos, nung hinawakan niya, naging ganyan yung rock. Kahit wala na siyang force, umilalim pa rin yung rock. Umamak daw siya dito. Yan ang trivia natin sa Via Dolorosa Station 5. Number 6. Here.
If you continue following the way of the cross, in no time you'll be able to reach the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is deemed to be the holiest site for Christian pilgrims in Jerusalem.
This is it, guys. I found my way to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Subukan pong pumasok.
The church is usually filled and crawling with many tourists from different parts of the world, but because this is the low season and Israel has just recently opened for visitors and we're still in the middle of pandemic, hey, I was able to enjoy walking inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre freely. But this isn't just the usual church that we know in the Philippines. It is divided in many different parts and it's also being shared by many different religious groups. Like, for example, the Golgotha. The Golgotha is divided into two parts, the Christian section and the Greek Orthodox section. You can head straight and line up to the tomb of Jesus, which is also located inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This is my experience going inside. We still have a lot of cover inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, but I'll save it in the next video. Now we are on to the next destination or the next site inside the walled city of Jerusalem.
This is the dung gate. Dear visitors, welcome to the Western Wall, the remnant of the Jewish temple in the place where the divine presence rests. As a sign of respect, you have to wear something on your head.
We are at the Western Wall, or some people call it the Wailing Wall. This, my friend, is the pilgrim site for Jewish people. The western wall is the retaining wall of the Temple Mount compound. Its measure is 60 meter in height and 488 meter in width. They have an amusing and unique way of praying, but the devotion and the faith from each of the people that I see here is something that is really overwhelming. The next site is just beside the western wall, and this is the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount is where we can find the Dome of the Rock, the famous building or shrine with a golden roof, which you can oversee if you're going to visit the Mount of Olives. This is perhaps the most, actually not perhaps, but for sure this is the most holy site for the Muslims here in Jerusalem. It is only open in the morning from 7:30 in the morning until 11:30. They close during prayer time and then reopens from 1:30 until 2:30 in the afternoon. It is heavily guarded, and if you have the time in the morning, I would recommend you to visit this place in the morning because it is an amazing place to visit.
Well, eto na siya. Let's come at the middle. We're finally inside Temple Mount, the holiest site for the Muslims here in Jerusalem. This is the big guy. This is the little one. I don't know kung dito sa site na to lumipad si Muhammad.
Well, here you go. These are my top recommendations for the sites that you should not miss whenever you have the chance to visit Jerusalem. I hope that this video will help you in the future. If you think it will or it does, please give it a thumbs up. In the future, if you want to see my travel videos, my recommendation videos, travel tips, and more videos, I would ask you to please consider subscribing to my channel because there are a lot of videos coming up in the next few days. While making this video, I also have some realization. I may not know a lot about the conflict between or amongst the people who are living in Jerusalem, but one thing is for sure I know because I have experienced it myself there in Jerusalem. The people that I met there were warm, were hospitable, and friendly. And I hope that you give the same treatment to anyone, regardless of their belief, regardless of their religion, regardless of their race or skin color. Because I know Jerusalem is the holiest place on earth, and I know the people here are warm, hospitable, and friendly.